Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We are getting there, and there is where sanctions start to really bite not the Russians, but the ones who impose the sanctions and put their little badges here as virtues. And that are the Europeans. Those are the Europeans. Remember about, 6 months ago? I said, well, this thing in Ukraine will end when the Europeans are going to feel some pain, little pain, not much, little, because of the low tolerance they have towards pain versus the Russians who are used to not have things. Remember, I had about scarcity versus abundance. If you don't have something, you don't have something. But I don't have it, I don't have it. I'm not going to cry about it. But once you are given that something for some time and it's taken away from you, then it's going to hurt. So that's the difference between the Western countries and these Eastern European countries that were through tremendous pain. They're used with pain and strife and all that. The other guys, not really. If you take them the Coca-Cola, anything but give it to me. I'm just kidding. Or Netflix, no more Netflix, anything. Mommy, sold into slavery. Start a Netflix right now. So, exaggerating. Not. So what's going on here with this? I said by October, November, when the winter comes, or the fall, cold weather, the Westerners will not have energy and the prices shoot up. The inflation will be higher and higher, people will be laid off, there will be mass protests, and the weasels who created all this problem, I would say the ones who imposed the sanctions, because if they wouldn't have imposed a sanction, there would be electricity and the economies could function, or at least stay there. Inflation still go up, but not the price of oil and gas, and they would have all that. But they shot themselves in the foot. So here it is, end of October, beginning of November. The Germans are in the street, and not only the Germans. But this article is not about Germans being in the street, that's going to be more and more often. Is the fact that the quarter of German businesses mull layoffs as energy crisis bites. So it's a quarter of the German businesses think about firing their employees because of the high energy prices, and not only. So this article comes from Sputnik, so obviously gotta pay attention. Why? Because they might exaggerate here, minimize here. And it's from today, is the 24th of October 2022. 1 in 4 German enterprises have or are planning layoffs amid the ongoing energy price boom, a poll commissioned by the Family Businesses Foundation found. The number of companies planning layoffs was up 11% since April. The latest survey was conducted by IFO in September among 1,060 companies, most of them family businesses. Some 90% of those sampled said they were considering hiking prices or have already raised them. A further 13% said they would halt production, up to 6% in March, while 9% said they would move production abroad, up from 6%. Abroad where? Where? And if you move it abroad, what are you going to do with your workers, your families, your Germans? So family businesses are at the backbone of German economy. According to the foundation statistics, around 90% of the companies are family run. They accounted for 52% of sales in 2016 and employed 58% of the total workforce. So don't play with these guys. Since 2021, energy prices in Europe have been surging as part of the global trend after the beginning of Russia's military operation in Ukraine in February 2022 and the adoption of several packages of sanctions against Moscow by the West. Fuel prices have accelerated the growth, pushing many EU governments to resort to contingency measures. So, situation is getting bad. The shit is gonna hit the fan soon, so that would spread everywhere. And it's just the beginning. The problem is, what are the weasels, which I'm calling the handlers of Germany, do? Will they change course? Already they are communicating with the Russians. The defense ministers of, not Germany though, France, Great Britain, and United States spoke with Shoigu regarding the whatever dirty bomb and all that. That's another sign. They're communicating. What's going on? Ukraine supposedly, I just made an article a minute ago, a video on an article stating that the Ukrainians are going to mobilize people under or up to 60 years of age. And they were laughing that the Russians are mobilizing up to 300,000. I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't know. I wasn't certain if Ukraine already mobilized, had a general mobilization right at the beginning of the war. I couldn't remember. Did I have it or partial or what? It was general, according to the Ukrainian media outlet that I made a video on. So, yeah, the things are going to get worse and worse in Europe. And if the Russians are able to maintain what they're doing with least effort, that means losses of life over Russians, then these guys are going to have it bad. And what are they going to do? They're going to start crying. And then when they start crying, the guys that are voted based on people's crying or laughter, they will say, oh my God, we're going to lose elections. We got to do something. What are we going to do? Well, I tell you what you're going to do. You have to call Washington, D.C. and tell them, hey, I think it's time. Time to do what? Time to stop this thing. We got to do something. Well, it's up to Ukraine to decide when they will negotiate. Spare me that little mantra. That's for children or people below 86 IQ. I don't think you and I qualify. So, you know, those guys. And what's going to happen? They're not going to have energy. They're not going to have gas to drive cars. You'll see. There's going to be a bigger crisis than that it should have been, or I don't want to say should. It would have been under the non-sanction circumstances. Remember, the sanctions were imposed by these guys without being necessary or being involved in the whole thing. They were waiting for it. It was like, hey, we got them, let's go. I think the Russia will continue to do what they're doing. They will be able to hold the line, the front, and these guys here are going to be starting to feel the pain. Unfortunately. Well, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.